Uh, so what's happening, everybody? This is going to be the 13 Star podcast. I didn't intend on doing this thing alone, but there's nobody here to join me. The person I intended on joining me isn't joining me this evening. So, what's happening, BMD? What's going on? This is where I'm gonna freely talk about shit that I think about. So you are warned. So some shit just happened with the 13 Star Wrestling, and for those of you who were in on that, um, it was just a status error, and there was like 7 minutes left for the there was only 7 minutes left for the stream in total. So I just went ahead and it was a big match, and I'm still going to do that big match at a later point. But the whole thing just shut the fuck down. There was only 7-8 minutes left, and so I was just like, all right. But the reason I wanted to go ahead and start this evening for anyone watching at a later point is during the 13 Star Wrestling stream, there was some things brought up that I wanted to talk about with some of the viewers. So that being said, I am going to be speaking to you guys directly because it's not like there's anybody else in here for me to fucking talk to. So Rebecca, the whole Pro 225 thing, especially at this point, it's definitely something I want to do. If I was still able to get into it, I can't help but wonder, would this be something I'm getting into a little late? Well, why are you nervous, Patty? Don't be nervous. We're just talking. It's all good. And here you will hear me say a lot because the only thing here for me to do is talk. So, but yeah, for me getting into wrestling, it's it's something like I said, like the money, like the time, I wouldn't mind putting in the time, the effort. I would love putting in the effort. But damn, you wish you could join me in person? Well, the door's open, dog. I'm sorry, cat. It's open. Yeah. It's like the biggest issue is that big price tag that comes with the training and all that. And like I said, I have absolutely no issues, putting in the time and the training. Because I know I would, as much as I think I know about wrestling, I know that there is a fuck ton of stuff that I just wouldn't think about or wouldn't do during a match without the proper training. So I would totally be willing to do that. But like one of my issues is that their training camp is like an hour and a half away. I'd be willing to deal with that, but fixing matches and losing anyway. Well, shit happens. And that's something that's always like threw me off, was that like I have been genuinely accused of rigging matches before. Like I could, like I know how to fuck with that. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, past that, like unless y'all comment on the wrestling thing, that's my thoughts on the whole wrestling thing, like actually trying to get into it. But past that, I need help to continue the conversation. Let's start a GoFundMe for me to get into the big leagues. I don't think like all the money in the world. I don't think. I don't think like that would cover the training, but I don't think the money would get me a higher rank in anything. Like I could have $1 million. That doesn't mean I'm going to wrestle for WWE. Uh, uh, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Just the money to get the training, yeah, sure. But it was the wording of it for me to get in the big leagues. Pro 225 ain't the big leagues. It's very very local, though. To the point that Rebecca, I have checked them out. I've gone to see them live a couple of times, and I love their shit. Um, I forget their monster's name. It's like I actually think it's like Manticore or something like that. Like he's just a beast of a dude. I talk shit to his manager. Um, I see what had happened was they were doing a show at the North Park gym, and I knew about this. I've been checking it out, and I've been trying to get into. I've been trying to get into the Pro 225, so I knew I needed to go check them out. So that was my first time going to see them, and this dude's manager was outside. He's like he's his manager, so he holds this dude's belt. Now Manticore, hold on. You were there? Okay, well, Rebecca, I have a question after I tell you this story. And I'll get to the others in a moment. So sorry about the silence. I needed to read the comments to see where I was, and if I can't remember that dude's name, but I think it was like Manticore or something like that. He's a beast of a dude, a giant man, and he's a heel, and his manager's a heel. So they're very his manager's a very arrogant asshole. So I walk in and just like where they're selling the tickets. So I walk in, I'm like, hey, how much is it for a ticket? And no, you're good. Don't apologize for commenting. Absolutely not. But um so I walk in, I ask them for a ticket, they tell me how much it is, and the manager is standing there like in front of the ticket booth holding the belt. And and so he's like, he turns to me as a fan, and he's like, hey man, can you believe they're not letting champions in here? Now here's the thing, I'd actually been keeping up, like I'd gone and done my research. I watched some of their videos and some of their promos, so I already knew he was just this dude's manager, and I knew he was a heel. So I turned to him and I asked, oh well, is Manticore in there? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, okay, so they're just banning you. He's, well, I mean, sort of. That's how it's going, yeah. So because it was something to do with the story that they were pulling off that night, and I was like, okay, so they're letting champions in, they're not letting the belt holders in, and the look on his face. Whoo, shit. You thought I would have whipped my dick out and slapped him with it. Oh, he didn't expect that out of me. So, but the question to Rebecca was, if you were at that show, do you remember a dude sitting off in the corner wearing a gray vest and very odd colors in his hair, one side being blue and the other side being red? Because if you remember that guy, that was me. Said it would be difficult to set up a couples tag team belt, but possible. Any plans on that? I don't recall saying that it was possible. If I did, I was incorrect because I know for a fact that I can't. I've tried multiple times. I'm gonna keep trying in case they make an update for it. But if they ever make an update for it, I do plan on doing a mixed gender tag team belt. I assume that's what you're asking about. And yeah, I can't do that. The game won't let me. Now it has a lot. What it did allow me to do that it didn't before. It originally didn't let me create belts at all. So I'm happy that they changed that. And at the time, they didn't let me do mixed gender entrances, and they fixed that. So I was able to do that from that point. So that might have been what you heard me say, was that I could do couples entrances now. So yeah, no mixed gender tag team belts in the works currently, because I can't. If I were them, I'd give you a spot. Well, and that's one of my things, is that like I wear dark colors, I wear black, but I'm a very colorful individual. I stand out due to many varying things, and I feel like that would play to whatever character that I played. Plus, I mean, like, tell me if you were a wrestler that you wouldn't want to just grab a handful of this and like fucking throw me across the ring, like. I got into those events free so many times. Well, that's rude, Patty. Even if they give you the opportunity to get in for free, you shouldn't, because it is cheap as hell, and they deserve that money. So come on, Patty May, support your local wrestlers. I did mention forever ago that if enough people wanted to do mixed gender matches, I would keep some kind of note keeping up with the champions at home, so to speak. Okay, yeah, that is a good point, and I have said that before. I haven't instituted that just yet, because as of right now, I believe that there are three sending mixed gender tag couples, Amber and myself, Vox and Mandycore, Phoenix and Patty May, and I Big Cat. It looks like you and Rebecca are on the road to being a mixed gender tag team. So maybe if I get like maybe one or two more, I can consider that a full division and start keeping up with that. Which even now, I really should start keeping up with it. So you're right. But see, that's kind of where I struggle with it, because like, does it? Because everyone looks for that visual of the belt, them holding the belt and claiming that you are the champion without the belt. I know it will mean something, but will it mean as much? Oh, your uncle let you in. Okay. Still, though, when you first saw me, I thought, who's the guy that looks like Rob Van Dam? I get a lot, actually, because I get compared to a lot of people. Rob Van Dam, I have been compared to. I've been called Mini Triple H before. One of my personal favorites, because I'm a long hair bearded white dude, I'm Jesus. And that one's just fucking weird. So yeah, I know how I look. I actually have a joke about that I said on stage a couple weeks ago, but I haven't filmed my on stage comedy stuff since that first one. I know I need to, but just I find it weird to hand my phone to some random person in the crowd and be like, "Here, film this for me." Always stay focused on the ones I'm close to. Stage names: Corey Constantine, JJ Compton, and others like Mustang Mike. I remember Mustang Mike. Mustang Mike got my attention big. I couldn't help but like I saw a couple of Mustang Mike's promos, and I'm just like, dude, okay, either A, you are like jacked up on something, and I'm not saying something illegal, like maybe just like 6 fucking monsters or something, or B, you're gonna have to take a 20-minute rest after you get done with this promo, because holy shit, dude. He's like, fucking God. Wild Thing Mikey, Andrew Anderson. I think I'm pretty sure I watched every single one of those guys throw down when I went. I got the look of a superstar already. Well, thank you, Eisman, but a lot of people in the upper echelon of a lot of things would claim that I do not have the stature. I am 5'5", sometimes 5'4" on a slouch day. And according to the Boondock Saints too, I am quote unquote wicked short. Because like that really fucked me up the first time I ever saw that, because it was what, so we're looking at 5'7"ish. That's not uncommonly short. Well, he was wearing a pronounced heel. We're looking at about 5'5", gentlemen. That's wicked short. Wicked. Dude! Next, Matt. Yeah, definitely. They have a show coming up next month in Denham. Hopefully it's not between the 11th through the whatever, that whole week I'm going to be in Mississippi. So, forewarning for anyone here already, that 1 week, 13 Star Wrestling ain't happening. It's the 1 week long vacation I get, and it's a working vacation. Hey man, don't you dog on short wrestlers, man. You know what? I'm short. I can dog on any short people I want, Patty May. Rey Mysterio did it, so can I. First of all, Rey Mysterio I would never be even remotely able to compare myself to Rey Mysterio because 2 things. One, and this is the lesser point, he's taller than me. And 2, he's a second generation wrestler. I don't know if you remember this. They removed it, but it's actually Rey Mysterio Jr. The original Rey Mysterio, like, I'm not going to say paved the way for him, but definitely, like, showed him the ropes, so to speak. A pun! I wouldn't mind being a high flyer, Iceman. I definitely wouldn't mind doing that. Like, as a matter of fact, in just a moment, I want to tell you about the couple of concepts that I had rolling around. I had the idea of the unselling creature before the fucking the Fiend showed up. You can ask Amber. I've been talking about it for years, but I'll get into that in a moment. Send me info on these shows coming up in the next 2 months. Please do, Rebecca. I may not be able to make all of them, but excuse me. But I definitely do want to know the schedule and see if I can make them, because they're cheap and they're fun. Patty. So here's the concepts that I had for if I were to become a wrestler and they allowed me to play the character that I would like to play. First of all, you wouldn't see much change. I'm not a tights guy. I'm just not. You know, I'm the type of guy that, like, it may be uncomfortable for me, but that's for me to dictate. I will happily wrestle it in a pair of jeans. I would like to throw a lot of myself into that character. As you like if you see my 13 star avatar, that is generally what I would like to go for. All right, Rebecca. I can only promise to show up. What happens past that, I can't, I can't, hold you at fault for anything. Rebecca, I didn't meet anybody. They ignored me the whole time. I'm just gonna go watch the show. But like, so the concept for me is I would not. There's obviously certain things that I would not be able to do due to my stature, and I do consider myself strong for my size, but there is a hardcore fucking ceiling for me that I, under no circumstances, can break. I cannot lift a dude the size of Andre the Giant over my head. I can do all the push-ups and all the sit-ups in the fucking world, and that just ain't gonna happen. So what I would end up portraying is like one of two ideas, maybe both intertwined. But the first idea was that of a small, fast, unstoppable force. In that you can slam me, you can pile drive me, you can throw me over the ropes, you can slam me down, whatever. I'm gonna hit the ground and pop right back up. And basically approach that character with a bit more of a maniac style to it, like a deranged type of thing. And that's not to say that I would go the full fiend route and do a complete no sell. The idea that I have in my head at that point would be the best option for my opponent would be to single out a particular area of me. So throughout the match, you would see me get more and more damage. Like if they targeted my leg, well, I'm moving fast and I'm slamming around, bouncing off the ropes, doing offense that way. And then they happen to slam me in the leg and like so hard it makes me cut a flip. Well, I get up, but like and it seems like I'm fine. And then that scenario happens again. It keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. And they slam me in the leg again with another move, and it's devastating. Well, I still pop right back up, but this time you can see the leg waver. So it's not that the damage doesn't accumulate to me. It's more almost as though I would sell it as though I don't feel pain. So like you can shut me down, but you have to do it methodically. Otherwise, I'm gonna bounce off the ropes, going everywhere, jumping off of things, and just going like that. So that's that concept. The other concept would just be me cranked up to 11. Because like that, like the deranged, non-pain feeling little guy has its appeal to me, definitely, but also just the normal me, with my looks and everything, just ramped up to 11, looking at dudes twice my size, like walking up to them and having to look straight up at them like this, but still talking shit. One of those two routes would be the way that I would go for my own personal persona. So yeah, that's what I would like to do. I have no idea how they deal with creative in the local circuit. I don't know if they have somebody who's running the promotion who's like, okay, you're going to be this character and you're going to do this and you're going to wear this. What do you want to do? Let's do our best to make it work. I have no idea how that stuff goes. I would love to find out, but I feel like I'd have to spend $2,000, a fuck ton of hours and months in training, and then actually getting to to where they're talking about getting me in the ring before that even became a concept. So, yeah, I would like to learn. I just don't have that kind of money, and I struggle with the idea of GoFundMe's. So what do you guys think of my my personas. Would you if you did see me in that sort of thing, would you rather see the me cranked up to 11, just trying to do my best to willpower my way through and take on opponents twice my size, or would you rather see me as the uh um you know pain ignoring speeding bullet? And if that was the route that I go, I would definitely have to like really start working on my cardio. But I feel like I could keep that up for a match. For just one match, I feel like I could get through that. I'd be exhausted by the end of it, but I would definitely have a blast. So I've ran into a concrete wall with that thought process. Anyone want to help me out? Because if I'm on here for more than a few minutes with nothing to talk about, I'm gonna kill it. Where'd it go? Oh. What would your signature move be? Okay. So, I have a little bit of like, because I don't know what I would settle on, but I've an avid wrestler fan always has to have their own move, right? So of course I've come up with a few of my own. It would probably start as something simple like maybe a big elbow drop or something to that nature, or maybe just a very hard striking maneuver. Oh well, thank you. I will check those out in a minute. But like the favorite thing that I've ever come up with is it's sort of a weird submission move if you can picture it, and I've never tried it, so I don't know how it would actually look um in attempting to do it. But basically, so I'm gonna you're gonna have to work with me on this. It's a submission move, and basically the opponent would have to be laying on their stomach. So I got them on the ground, they're laying on their stomach. And what I would do is I would like just for ease of explaining this. So they're face down on the mat. I would lay down on their back with my back against their back. I would put my feet on their thighs, pinning their thighs to the ground, elbow the ribs, making them kind of do this like as they're laying flat, kind of making them do this number. So whenever I elbow them and the arms raise, I hook the arms and start bending them backwards. So they're doing more and more like this, pinned against the ground, like unable to move or get out. And who like the obvious reversal of that is roll. So that would be my favorite if I could practice for it. I would definitely want to do a super fancy move off the top ropes, but I would have to practice that. Oh well, thank you, Eisman. Then I sweep the feet once the arms are extended. Well, I can't sweep the feet because they're laying on the ground, Patty. They're already on the ground. I can't sweep them to the ground further than on the ground. What would I call it? I don't know. That's something I only ever thought about the physical move itself. I feel like whatever I would call it would have to be based around my name. which I don't know what my name would be if they would accept, the name that I have, my own personal given name, Triskadega. I don't know if they would the Dega Bomb. I don't think a submission move can be called a bomb. What's happening? Oh, Brian, what's happening? What's going on, man? Sup? Welcome to the first ever 13 Star podcast, man. I'm not gonna out who you are to me unless you want me to. That's because some people are funny about that, and I never know. The degustation. Well, yeah, if they shit themselves from it. I kind of like the Triska trap. I'm kind of a fan. Holding it down here in Lafayette. One of our wrestling matches was actually in Lafayette tonight. On the game that I run that stuff through. That's good, man. I'm glad you're doing good. I like the Triska trap. I like that. Because that's the whole idea is that, like, though I am small, I am dense. So, like, what small amount of weight that I have on these particular points on your body would make it difficult to get up, which is the point. The elbows make the arms lift up, the arms hook, bend him, because all that is to me is I'm bending like this, like one of those machines at the workout place. Meanwhile, they're just getting bent more and more, and obviously I wouldn't go so far. I would only go as far as their flexibility would allow, and then start doing that shaking stuff, and how wrestlers do. The Trisket. I'm actually keeping count. Hold on. 27. You're the 27th person to make that joke to me. I don't hate you. I'm just. That's a pretty elaborate explanation for the Triska trap. I like the Triska trap. If they ever allowed me into Pro 225 wrestling and they let me start wrestling, I would love the Triska trap. Now that one I would throw in the ring for them to see. Like I have a name for this move. It's called the Triska trap, but a few people were throwing around the name Trisky Business. What do you guys think about that? They'd probably be like, "Fuck yes." Don't sell yourself short like Shorty Gable. If I must call Shorty Gable, if I must call Chad Gable Shorty G, I am calling Baron Corbin Baldy McCrownhead. Unfortunately, you got to get back to work. Dog, it is 9:30 at night. Like, tell them to fuck off. God damn, dude. You all know what I'm doing over there. You try to pretend, oh, what are you doing? You know what the fuck I'm doing. I just, meh. Yeah, Big Cat. All you do is work, no matter what. Got social things to do, but he don't give a fuck. I wonder. Yeah. Let's call it Colorado stuffs. So, yeah, that's my life here in Colorado. Stuffs. all the stuffs. Patty, what the hell is wrong with you? The Triska Triangle. That's why me and on the stream I say I'm doing Colorado thing. Yeah, I know. Kind of figured. And no, Patty, I already have the list in my head. Don't worry, I have a full psych eval on you. Don't worry, I have one on everyone I know. I like the Triska Triangle. Sorry, I got to thinking about another name I could roll with just due to the positioning of it. Because I was sitting there thinking like, well, my name means 13, so is there like a way I could do like a 13-point lock? That's fucking impossible. But what I could do is call it the 13-star lock. And it's not very good, I know, but what I was thinking there was that like I'm spread out like a star, and I'm Triskadega, so 13, so 13-star lock. Just the thought, it's wacky, but I honestly like the alliteration of the Triska Triangle or the Triska Trap. You know, next month is St. Fatty's Day, right? God damn, Rebecca. But that would be all of this is really speculation. Because I do Louisiana is in the 13th state. Because like that would all be if I ever got into an actual wrestling promotion. Pro 225 is just the nearest one, which I would happily be in if they just let me, as opposed to all the money it takes to get in with them. Well, you know, me and Amber share a lot, including thoughts. But yeah. So yeah, if I could do that, I absolutely would love to do that. Like, because I like doing things. That's why I fill my time up a lot with doing things here with you guys, here on the channel. I'm always coming up with different ideas for shows. Trying to get up on stage at the open mic night comedy place, which, according to a bunch of people who watched and listened, thought I did all right. So that made me think, okay, well, if I did all right, I want to do it more. Because I always, you know, I just like I definitely got into the mentality of like, you know, if you enjoy something, you know, go do it. So if you enjoy, you know, watching a comedy show, well, go do it. See, you know, give it a shot. If you enjoy watching it, you definitely enjoy doing it. You know, so just go do it. That's kind of the concept that got me into the SCA was, you know, well, especially because I like fighting, and that's a very heavy portion of it. So it was just a matter of just go do it. I always wanted to do like until recently, like I say recently, the past year or so, I always wanted to do like some kind of show or something, but I didn't know how. I didn't know like because you look on YouTube and the quality of some shit is just so fucking sky high. And I know they didn't start there, but those are the kind of videos and stuff I'm competing with. And even then, those channels are family friendly and appropriate for all ages. I am very distinctly not, because I refuse to censor myself. What you see is what you get. And uh, so like and that's when I was like direct influence. Like I knew Red. Me and Red played together on the PlayStation. Most people know him as at least on the channel know him as Skoinkman. And he introduced me to Epic Sandwich, and Epic Sandwich I got with him, and he's all about that entertainment stuff too. So me and him just hit it off, and he started showing me how to do all this stuff, how to, I am very not good with technology, and that is a very big problem in the technological age of entertainment. But he showed me how to do the basics, and somebody told me just work with what you got and do it. Just see, look at what you got. You have cameras, right? So record some shit. May not be the highest quality. Look at this. This is all fucking grainy. You see this shit? All this grain, look all over. Whatever. You still see me. You still get get what I'm trying to convey. So fuck it. Whatever. Um. So maybe one day, I will be able to afford a much better camera. And then maybe one day somebody much smarter than me can come along and show me how to use the camera. And from then I know how to use the camera. I'm very quick at learning. I'm not good at self-learning. I have to be shown. So let me catch up on the comments. I was very lost in my own thought process there. I was born to be an entertainer. All you can do is try. It's better than having a what if like Edge's recent speech. I did not see Edge's recent speech, but I do agree with that sentiment entirely. All I can do is try. At this point, I originally started this endeavor with the whole mentality of I'm going to get famous. And I let go of that very quickly because that's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it to be famous. If somehow that happens, okay, cool, I guess. But I really just do this for fun. And I do it in my spare time, which is why it takes me a little while to get to going on certain projects that I talk about, i.e., what I hate, or whatever. Because again, like I fill up all my time with things that I want to do, but I am trying to get a camera to follow me in those endeavors so that I can give more and more stuff here on the channel. Can't wait to see you looking back video one day and you watching all these early videos. Well, I can tell you right now, I ain't going back to watch the 2-hour live streams. I don't know many who would. Because the whole point of the live stream is to be there while it's happening live. And it's a 2-hour video at that point. So, yeah. Hold up. Just an example. When I first met JJ Compton, he came out with mushroom head tats, Hatchet Man on his shorts, and Twisted for his entrance. So not all characters are G-rated. Well, like, see, okay. Here's the thing is like in regards to that, as far as character wise, in that sort of show, I can tone down the R-rated stuff that I do, the cursing, the fuck you, like I can tone all that down if I need to. But something I am in control of, like my own channel, that like what I was getting at was like YouTube doesn't like that concept, so they won't push me in front of people and I get lost in the algorithm. I don't care about that. I don't fight that. I don't do what I can to tone myself down or whatever, because this is my channel. Now, if I went to someone else's project who is putting on a friendly face or whatever, I can tone it down at that point because they require me to. But YouTube, that isn't a bunch of people requiring me to. That is a machine, an algorithm, and I refuse to bow down to a algorithm. Does that make sense? Is that am I portraying my thought process accurately? Well, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Because that's because we did try to do that over on the Professional Idiots channel, and a lot of us realized that we were in order to tone ourselves down to be family friendly, we really have to turn off a lot of what makes us us. And over the course of 2 hours every week, and for a little while we were doing multiple times a week, that starts to rake on your soul. So we, it's like we let it go a little bit over there, and I let go of it entirely over here. Like, that's why you see, like, originally I had the thought that, like, I won't smoke cigarettes whenever I'm doing a stream. Well, I let that go because whereas I am very aware that smoking is bad for me, I am a smoker. I smoke in my room, so why the fuck not? So that was the whole thought process on that. And yeah, and that's the other thing about, like, with how I run things here on 13 Star, as far as being me and us being ourselves over on the Professional Idiots channel, is that if something ever does kick off, it's not like YouTube can sit there and claim a whole lot of responsibility for that, because they actively held us back. So if something ever comes of it, it's because we worked towards it and we strived for it and we did it. YouTube can't, we put you in front of plenty of people. No, the fuck you did not. So we know how the algorithm works. We've read the fucking stuff. We've done our research. We just don't like how it works, so we choose not to go that route. So who all's still here with me? I don't know how accurate this number is. I know Rebecca's still in here. So just one other thing, the other YouTuber I promote, donate to, and buy apparel from, he started out bleeping himself and watching his language. Now he has 300K viewers. All of that is off the board now. I get that. And yeah, that's the same mentality we're going after, is the whole concept of, we started out censoring ourselves and trying to watch what we said. So yeah, that's what we that's what we had to let go of, because again, like as far as we're concerned, we are the best entertainers when we are just being ourselves. Because like a lot of, like, the comedy legends, like the stand-up, going back to the stand-up comedy thing, a lot of the legends will actively state, like, there are some who can weave a story that is entirely untrue and just weave jokes about stuff that they don't think about, and those people are few and far in between. Most of the people who do good in that scenario are people who are telling true stories that truly happened to them, maybe ramped up a little bit, maybe a tidbit added here or there, but it's their story. They can do that. But it has to be a something that they truly felt. So that kind of transfers over to almost any video that we do, so that we can be ourselves. Well, I'm glad you like the channel, B Rob. be right. Kind of here. Some of my stuff is real, some isn't. Well, Pat, like that is, I can fully admit here on the podcast, speaking openly and candidly, um, I can admit to struggling sometimes with having a live audience, especially a live audience that I can't see or directly contact. In that, like, if somebody, and you have anyone who's seen some of the 13 Star Wrestling streams or anything like that, come to the Professional Idiot streams, have seen me struggle with some of that stuff, because a lot of things get lost in translation uh, in trying to convey whatever message that's needing to be conveyed, like typos, people not speaking in full thoughts. They speak in these weird fucking haikus and expect me to decipher them, which I won't. Really, the tone thing is more of the problem than anything else, because it's hard to tell when somebody's being sarcastic. Unless they type out some very particular stuff. That's why I'm a huge fan of LOLJK. Uh, and that's only because I feel the need to put it in whenever I say something that I do not mean. But I know, for a lot of people, they don't want to do that because it kind of ruins the joke in their head. But, like, on my end, I just get drastically confused. And I struggle with that sometimes, because I have a little bit of a pettiness in my own head with that, because when I get confused, I feel stupid. And when I feel stupid, I get angry because I want to feel stupid. I know I'm not the smartest dude on the planet, but fuck, I don't want to feel stupid. Who wants to feel stupid? Curse words are nothing more than sentence enhancements. Turned down for what? Turned down for what? Exactly. It's not like I'm sprinkling every single fucking sentence that I say with an F-bomb, or, a god, I'll throw in a goddamn or two. It's not like every single sentence I'm saying contains a curse word. It's just every now and again you get one out of me. I need to put that on a shirt. When I feel stupid, I get angry. Well, that would get me copyrighted. I don't think I can put Marvel characters on my own apparel. I don't even have my own apparel store. Big Cat, you're gonna have to show me how old Teespring works, so I can get some 13 Star Entertainment stuff out there. But an actual Wolverine. Okay. I just feel like in those instances I would put a lot of like very basic, like, outline drawn faces of me, like, like an outline of this. When I feel stupid, I get angry. So yeah. I do like that idea, though. And like I said, with the other ideas that I've had, I'm slow to get to them, but I am getting to around to figuring out that new show I've been talking about, the pre-recorded show. Still don't have a solid concrete name for it, but as of right now, I've nicknamed it "Do You Know What I Hate?" Smoke coming from the ears, and it's from his brain overheating. Yeah, sure. But and for those of you who aren't aware of what I'm talking about with that show, Do You Know What I Hate? It's basically a riff off of Family Guy's You Know What Grinds My Gears. in that I present the idea that, like, as much as I love the positivity and all the feel goods that go around on YouTube and all that, I believe that there is a time and a place to vent your frustrations. Um, uh, I can only be real, Rebecca. um, so yeah, I believe there's always a time and place to vent frustrations. So I would like to provide a place to do that, which is this little pre-recorded show that I would do based around things that people hate. Now, there's obviously things that we're not gonna like, places we're not gonna go. Um, Certain comments, if they crop up, when they crop up, will be deleted. If YouTube doesn't get to it first, I certainly will. And we all very much know about, like, the things that we're going to avoid. Here on the podcast, I actually have been kicking around many ideas for this podcast, which is I'm not going to avoid anything like politics, religion, stuff like that. But in Do You Know What I Hate? Uh, Everything is going to be based around, like, little, like, honestly, the petty bullshit that just bothers you throughout your daily you get it. You know what I hate? When I ask for a raise because I've been kicking ass around my job, but for some reason my boss doesn't think I deserve it. Even though, like, I've been putting in the time, putting in the effort, showing that, like, I'm worth the raise, and then whenever he doesn't give me the raise, I tone down my work ethic, and then all of a sudden he wants to give me some attitude. What the fuck? Some petty bullshit like that. If somebody goes, gets on there and, you know what I hate, and starts spouting off some hateful shit about some race or religion, like, okay, you don't vent properly. You don't you're not a fully functioning person. Go away. um so yeah, give me an example. Patty says, you know what I hate? Having to tell, like I'm going to provide an example here because I will be using viewers' comments. Like, I'm going to post one explaining this whole concept and then ask people to post down below. That's going to be the first thing. I'm not going to go into what I hate or what anybody else hates because I don't have any comments. Now I'm going to take whatever few comments I get from that first video and make the first episode. And they will be very much like this, very, very personal, where I'm talking directly to the camera, and I will pull up a comment like Patty May here says, you know what I hate? Having to tell the cashier at McDonald's if my kid is a boy or a girl to get the toy that really shouldn't be gender specific. Just ask me Pokemon or Barbie, for fuck's sake. I can get that. Now, after reading the comment, I will provide my own thought process on it, which is I actually fully agree. That's that. That's kind of weird. Now, at the same time, in this instance, I'm kind of in a weird place on both sides, because whereas I fully understand your point, I might argue the other point, which is it's how they've been doing it forever. It works for them. It's an easy way for them to just get out the question and get you rolling. But it probably would be a good thing if they just went ahead and decided, let's real quick before I finish that. Rebecca, give me an example of what you would type out in a "What Do You Know What I Hate" segment. Because if you're saying you probably shouldn't, this is definitely the place to give it a shot. Sort of a live preview of the show. So anyway, back to that. I do think that they should probably move it to the whole concept of like what did I see they had today? They had, I think it was something like Barbie or Hello Kitty, and basically be like, Hello Kitty or Fast and Furious, because they have the little cars from the Netflix Fast and Furious Spy Racers thing that they're doing that I didn't know about, which is fucking weird. But that would definitely make it a little more okay for everybody, including the people who are because there are some people who probably tend to flip shit over that, and I think that that's a little too far. Like, come on, it's just a question, just fucking answer it. But at the same time, I get that, like, maybe my daughter wants a race car. I get that. Maybe my son wants the Hello Kitty toy. I get that. That's that's whatever. So yeah, that would definitely be see, Rebecca, that's not even that bad. What the fuck? Talking about I shouldn't do this. It's like, come on. Lexi always says, I'm not a boy. Yes, and yeah. Maybe a kid just wants a fucking race car. But you gotta tell them that your kid's a boy to get a fucking race car. That's where it's like, okay, that's just tell us what you got, So yeah, there is a little bit of, I understand why they still do it, because they always have. But there is definitely there's kind of room for improvement there, because you never know what the kid themselves might want. Do they want a race car? Do they want a Hello Kitty? You don't know. So, so yeah, that is my thought on the McDonald's. I generally agree with you for the most part, but at the same time, I do get why they do it the way that they do. And then I would move on to another comment, like, you know what I hate? Rebecca Fisher says, you know what I hate? When I, myself, and others are automatically judged by wearing black or clothes that have cult in the logo, because and made out to be a bad person. Okay. See, now that goes into a whole category in and of itself, and that's based around judging a book by its cover. Now, at the same time, there is an argument to be said, well, that's why a fucking book has a goddamn cover, so that you can figure, if it didn't have a cover, how would you know what you're picking up? So that there's that concept with the book metaphor. But at the same time, I fully get that, because I wear I don't wear a lot of stuff with cult in the logo, obviously. I just didn't know if the cult clothes would fall under religion. Oh, I mean, are you trying to start a cult with those shirts? I don't think so. I think it's probably just a logo that you have that happens to say the word cult in it. That's different. That's a logo. That's branding. And as far as people judging people on how they look, I definitely am subjected to that quite a lot. I wear black clothes. I wear Slipknot shit, but at the same time, I wear dark clothes that include the bat symbol. But a lot of people, they barely even see that. They just see this long haired bandana wearing, like I get a lot of are you in a rock band? Are you like a motorcycle rider? Which I do ride motorcycles, but like I'm not like part of a group or anything. I enjoy motorcycles. But that's the lesser end of the people looking at me and assuming, which a lot of a lot of people would assume correct in many aspects, because most people looking like me would be in a band. Most people looking like me would ride motorcycles, which I do. Um, but at the same time, I do get a lot of people who give me sideways glances and avoid me because I just like this is not the look of a very reputable person. Although I would be, the first person to help you up after you fell on your ass. I would be the first person to help you out if you asked for it. Um, I have a lot of mentalities on helping people, which is like, I do struggle to go out of my way unless specifically asked, and that's just a personal thing. But there are just a lot of people who just look at me and, first thing they do, cast judgment and probably assume that I'm a bad person. And some people will even go as far as catching me on a like I know a first impression means a lot, but in certain instances I do have trouble controlling my emotions. So if your first experience in meeting me is on a bad day for me, you're gonna walk away from that thinking I'm just a shitty angry dude. But that's not who I am. I just happen to be having a bad moment. In general, the first thing I want to do is laugh. I want to make people laugh or be made to laugh. Generally smile. I prefer the good spectrum of emotions. People will look at me and they won't assume that I'm super into Dragon Ball Z and all sorts of other anime. They wouldn't look at me and think, oh, he has a pretty compelling knowledge of Pokemon. That I don't have that look about me, but I do. So yeah, I think that for somebody to cast judgment on you for something as petty as the clothes that you're wearing is just a shitty human being thing to do. If you're going to hate somebody, don't do it for the way that they look. Don't do it because of the belief system that they have or the color of their skin. Get to know that dude or woman or person. Get to know that person. Hate them for that shit. Hate them for the petty little bullshit things that they do that you just don't agree with. Hate them for that stuff. Hate them for something with substance. At the same time, I have laundry, holy on them, and Ouija board pentagrams on them. I just support the create your own future they promote. Which is good. By the way, I have that same shirt. I know 3 people who have this same shirt. I was buying shirts as Christmas gifts, and apparently it was I only needed 2, and apparently it was buy 2 get 1 free, and I had no idea. So I was just like, oh, I'm getting me a Slipknot shirt. Your dad calls me that biker dude. I'm very aware. Very aware. Even though he has never seen me on a bike ever. I've never shown up at Dad's house when you lived over with your parents, and I would see your parents a lot. They never saw me on a motorcycle. So where's that coming from? It's the look. I think I first referred to Triska as that dude on the bike 10 plus years ago. I was riding around on a little fucking Virago. It was like a Virago 250. It was a little tiny thing, but it scooted, man. It was basically a souped up It was basically a souped up moped. It just looked better than a moped. What's happening, Zeke? What's going on? Things are definitely going. It's probably been a little while. I mean, that's what happens. I put out a lot of videos. If you don't show up for a few, it feels like it's been forever. Welcome to the podcast where we just talk about stuff in general. We've covered, some wrestling stuff and what I would like to do to get into some wrestling stuff, but the issues that I have getting into them. We've talked about the new show that I'm planning on doing. That's basically surrounding the concepts of the little petty things that you hate in your life. So yeah, and that's the but that is what you just came in on me bitching about people judging people on the way that they view that's my thought process on it. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me. That's entirely up to you. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the comments that the viewers have presented me with. So I'll read the comment out loud, spout out my viewpoints on it, and maybe at some point somebody might talk about, you know what I hate, and then talk about something that I might disagree with. That I'm like, they do that for a reason, and this is the reason, and they can't veer away from that because of this reason. And so I may very well disagree with some people on certain points, but that doesn't mean that I think that they're wrong for thinking that. It's just that I disagree and I think differently. And then after all is said and done, the end of every video will be basically me going into my thoughts of, do you know what I hate? And then just go off on whatever little petty bullshit has been bothering me lately. It sometimes that may include a person or people that I know. I will not bring names of people that I know or have an issue with, but most people that would turn around and see something like this or see me bitching about this particular thing would know that I either will happily or have already said these things to their face, and B, it's not that I'm sitting there trying to dog on them. It's that they, just in this one instance, you happen to do something that bugged me, and so it gave me another concept for this little show that I do, which is a little wonky because I'm wondering when the people around me are going to start walking. Treading a little lighter just due to the fact that I have online shows where I state my opinions about shit, and I go on stage and tell jokes about things that have happened to me in real life. B-Rob, are you still here? I actually have I have something to tell you, and I'll go through the whole thing if you want me to, but that's only if you're still here. I'm not going to go into it if you're not. Yeah, opinions online never go right because of people. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I have no issues if someone has a problem with something that I say. I have no issues with anyone if they have a differing opinion from me. I have no qualms if they want to comment down below about it and tell me how wrong I am, as long as it doesn't go to a mean place. Because outside of the things that I may be bitching about, I will never go to a mean place if I can help it. I always want to say things like this because a lot of viewers are people that I know, and you can ask any of those people that know me. I will never go off without a reason. There are people in life who think that I do. and there ain't no way that I can convince them that they're wrong. They think that I just go off for no reason. There's always a reason. Even if it's a petty reason, there's still a reason. So I assume B Rob is not here, and we are starting to dwindle in viewers because we are an hour and 15 minutes into this, so I understand that. So this was my first attempt at a solo podcast, no guest to speak to, and just talking to you directly, openly, which I always will here on the 13 Star Podcast. And if I have to do this by myself, I will happily refer to you, the viewers, to continue the discussion because I'm not smart enough to go on forever about any one particular topic. I can in a conversation, but I can't do it on my own. So thank you guys who did show up and hang out for a little while during the first podcast. Thank you especially to everyone who participated in helping me continue the whole concepts. Make sure you tune in next week on Friday for 13 Star Mania. It's coming up, and we're going to have a bunch of pre-championship fights, the number one contender fights, and then the big fights themselves. And make sure you keep an eye out for when I stop being lazy and eventually start the new show and actually give it a fucking title. So I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.